Hey, we're all good? Yep, we're all good. Welcome to the first ever Palm Summer. I got, I got restarted. Okay. Welcome to the first ever Palm Summer League preseason Thunder. Tonight, we're here at the Talladega Super Speedway for this 30-minute testing session. Now, before we get started, like I said, it's going to be 30 minutes. All the cars that have been painted up until this point will be in this test. And I'm going to look at all the names right now and go to my other screen and just read all the names that will participate in this test. Next week's test in Atlanta will have everybody though. So if your car's been painted, you're in to participate in tonight's test. So Trey Smith's in the test, followed by Brad Ream, Lipsy, Jordan Stout, Dan Mattiello, Braden Carruthers, Roberto Crown Jr., Keyshawn Richardson, of course the HWRL champion, of course Baker is the 2020 Golf Summer Series champion, Owen Miles, Patrick Miller, Brendan Beal, reigning GSS champion as well as Runner Street Stocks champion Ryan Wilson, Nick Sand, the 40, Mopar SRT 1914 in the 41, Daniel Rice Jr. in the 43, GSS runner-up Matthew Burdett in the 44, Johnny Hernandez in the 46, Dylan Matthews in the 49, Random J in the 53, Caleb Rose in the 59, Jordan Forbes in the 61, 76 is Daniel Voies, I hope I'm saying that right, 79 of Jose Angel, Jason Albert, Jordan Caldwell, Chris Murray, Hoodlum 2002, 2021 Summer Series champion, as well as the 2021 winner at Talladega for the GSS. Not Ross McTrain. Nathan Stapleton to 97, and finally Joe Teen to 99 are all the drivers participating in today's test. Now, before we get started, one more thing as well. Of course, a reminder that next week's test in Atlanta will be on Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Hopefully, nothing will get delayed. The PSL scheme deadline is a day before the Atlanta test. That will be on May 19th. So there's only 4 primary paint schemes left to paint. So if you're still working on those, you still got some time. But if you need any help, make sure you DM me or any other painter that's willing to help. And of course, the Coca-Cola Super Speedway that got moved to the 2003 version of the track, but it's still scheduled for Memorial Day, May 29th. All right, so let's get this started. I'm looking forward to this. Let's get this started. Let's get it going right now. Okay, I'm kidding. Okay, it's not ooey ooey. I'm kidding. It ain't ooey ooey. Ignore that. I'm just kidding. Okay, here we go. We're for real at Talladega with the PSL cars. Now here is the new scoring ticker we got for PSL. Take a look at Jordan here. So this is Jordan Stout, of course, in the 11 for the newly renamed Aero Atlanta Motorsports. I might pull up some of the other Google names on my iPad so I can not forget who's with who. All right, so first car already on the track. This is a 29-minute, 30-minute test session. The timer is already ticking down. I will release the results after this test is over and done with. Now, Talladega and Atlanta were chosen as the 2 tracks because I feel like they're in between both intermediates and super speedways going into. So, of course, for Coca-Cola, it's a 3-mile long, very wide super speedway, and Talladega is very wide as well. But it does have a very similar shape and very similar size to Daytona, which is, of course, the host of the Firecracker 400. I'm hoping the audio is okay. Hoping the do the audio real quick. My computer does that, I don't know why. Yeah, the audio is weird with this guy, but whatever. I think the audio should be good, hopefully. Yeah, audio looks good. Where's my Google thing on my computer, on my iPad? So, of course, Matthew Burnett lost the GSS championship this past year, probably the most heartbreaking fashion imaginable. And speaking of which, the guy who won the Summer Series championship is on top of the board as of right now, Ryan Wilson in the 38. Now, Ryan's, of course, the only driver in Random J Series history to win multiple championships across 2 different series. Of course, one, as I mentioned, the Ohio Winter Street Stock Championship in 2020 through 2021, as well as the as well as, of course, GSS last year. I don't know why I had a brain fart there. Apparently, I don't have Google on my iPad. What the heck? Alright, so now going up to the board. Burnett now up on the board, followed by 33 Patrick Miller. I gotta install an iPad, my Google Sheets app on my iPad midstream. There's the 43 of Daniel Rice coming onto the track. As we already got some drafting here now. Of course, I would compare these cars' times to the Summer Series times, but GSS has never ran just a single car test at Talladega or a single car practice at Talladega. We've only ran GSS at Talladega in big packs, but next week's test in Atlanta, I feel like could be a great comparison to see how fast these cars are compared to GSS. And we see Brendan Beal side by side with the 76. Okay, I got Google Drive. Okay, I can hopefully open it. There's the 2021 Series champion of Hoodlum, of course, as well as as I mentioned, the 2021 winner of Talladega. Okay, I got this on my Google. I got this Google sheet on my iPad. There we go. Now Hoodlum wants to see the back of his car. Now we'll show him. There we go. Angel is now on top of the board. 79, followed by Jordan Stout. Lower Miles, Dan Yellow, Lipsy. 49. Dylan Matthews. Brad Reed, Hoodlum, and Brendan Bill is currently the top 10 as of right now. We're still going further down. Randy Gate 11, Forge Racing on 12. Daniel Boyle's 13. Oh no, Brandon's not down to 13. We got Lou fastest right here. As you guys inside this top 10 now. Now I'm going to try to get into every car because it kind of gives me time to, since there's not an actual race or anything, it does give me time to talk about the driver who's behind the wheel of these PSL cars. There's Miller side by side with Johnny Hernandez. Now Hernandez Racing is an interesting team. They've won every single crown jewel in the GSS, back during the GSS, except for one. The Firecracker 400. Even though all the other GSS crown jewels are temporarily shelved, I hope to do more GSS. I don't know if all the GSS crown jewels will come back, but obviously Firecracker's the only one that still remains. But and because of that, Hernandez Racing still has a chance to win December's biggest race. For Mission Ryan Wilson, Braden Carruthers is now in the number 19, coming down in front of Ryan Wilson off turn number 2 as we got some drafting as we already got guys working together here. We've seen plenty of drivers work together, but I haven't seen quite a big pack yet. Now, towards the middle of the racetrack, we got Keyshawn Richardson, the 24. Of course, as I mentioned, HWRL champion, has experience winning championships here in the these mini-series. And newcomer Chris Murray in the 87. Nathan Bear was supposed to drive that car, but unfortunately, some off-track turmoil unfortunately happened, so Chris Murray was tapped in to replace. And this is Hernandez Racing's 4th entry. This Hernandez Racing ran into 4 cars here for the first time in any of the series, the max out of any team as of right now. Like, the one of only 2 teams with 4 cars. Speaking of making a return, now we go from a new driver to a returning driver, Jason Albert, who of course was suspended during GSS last year for an off-track incident. But now he is back here in the Palm Summer League in his familiar number 80 car for JA Racing. Now, the team tabs I'm going to get to, hopefully, once the team signups, I didn't mention the free agency stuff, but that's going to close on the 19th as well. So, the same day as the paint scheme deadline, I'm going to get everything finalized and hopefully start. I already started working on some of the races, but it's pretty early work as of right now. Now, as of right now, 23 minutes into practice, down less than 23 minutes left to go. Jesus Christ. Burnett's still on top of the board. Stout still in second. Bradley Ream in 6th. Let's go over to some other drivers who are Roberto Crown into 21. Sponsors, Great Clips, and Beyblade returning. One of those cars also just running by himself. As you got cars down pit road, that's Stapleton in 97, Dylan Matthews in the 49, and Brad Reem there as well. He's currently third on the board. Now here we got a pack here. This is a 5-car pack. Burnett out front, probably the reason why he has that fastest lap. With Nick Stent behind him, while there's 3 cars on the inside. Jordan Stout, led by Jordan Stout, Jordan Caldwell, and Random J. This is the second. Now it may be weird to see a Delta 50. Now it's kind of weird, admittedly, to see a this familiar Delta 53 in a Toyota, but it isn't the first time. As I mentioned, this isn't the first. But if you remember, I don't know if I mentioned, but this isn't the first time Atlanta Motorsports has been with Toyota. Of course, they were with the last miniseries at HWRO, and was rather successful, of course, from the afternoon Keyshawn Richardson winning the championship. Now Burnett, for the last 2 GSS seasons, drove for Spina Biffa Racing, now renamed Brado Racing, but that has changed. He's going back to what he did in the original Golf Summer Series season, driving for his own number 44 team. And we got a new driver on top of the board, and it's Brendan Buell. Let's go over to the 37 right now. This is currently in the single file pack between Hoodlum and Voiles. Hoodlum looking to the inside of Miller down the Alabama getting super stretch. Now it is pretty interesting to see that. Now for the most part, it's kind of what I expected these drivers are going to do. Kind of start the practice off slow, and then start working on the pack, because these are the first time any of these drivers have driven this PSL car. There is significant differences to this for this PSL car compared to the Summer Series cars. These cars go a little bit slower, but still have a lot of speed, and that's going to be shown at these big tracks we're going to, like Auto Club and, of course, the super speedways. Stout down pit road. 41 of Mopar now second on the board. Caleb Rose start on the board. As Matthews is now on the track, so he is down currently 22nd. I'm just going through some of the rest of the running order here. There's another pack of drivers. Got Angel here behind the 9 of Lipsy, as well as Trey Smith and Joe T in the 99. Now Joe T was now a lot of these drivers. Of course, Angel's first time in the Random J Series, but Lipsy is coming off a career Summer Series season, while Smith and Joe T had very disappointing seasons. Looking towards a brighter future here in the PSL. Now we got some 3 wide off turn number 2 here. As I believe Matteo and Miles and Forbes, with Miles in the middle, and that Alabama car fitting here at this racetrack. Of course, this is the most recent scheme to get done, but like I said, if you're not in this testing session, don't worry, your scheme's going to get done by next week, by the next testing session in Atlanta. Now, Daniel Rice Jr. is the other Hernandez racing car this year. Driving the 43 Guns N' Roses car, STP as an associate. Dan Mattiello still with Dodge, but now with NS Racing, as NS Racing makes the move from Chevy to Dodge, as well as changing their alliance from RC Motorsports, the defending GSS champion, the reigning GSS champions, to Relfan. Now, Relfan has been a team has been around since the original GSS season, and they have plenty of experience, and they've been in every series since. And I definitely think Relfan is a team you definitely should not count out. Especially as Beal is still on top of the board, and no one besides the 41 of Mopar has really been able to replicate Beal's lap. As I haven't talked about. Rose also third on the board in the 59. Rose still looking for that first ever Random J Series win. And super speedways, I think, really seem to be Rose's expertise, because his first start, and fun fact, his first start here in the Random J Series was the 2021 Firecracker 400. Pretty sure Pretty sure he's the only driver as of yeah, he's the only driver in Random J Series history, I believe, to make their first start during a crown jewel race. Now I got some more guys down pit road. Hernandez down pit road. Voiles down pit road. Random down pit road. Doing changes to his car. Codwell's down there as well. 17 minutes remain here in this preseason Thunder for the Palm Summer League. As we're getting dicey here into turn number 3. Wilson and Crothers. Crothers behind Wilson. Former teammates there from a couple seasons ago. Back in the Ohio Winners Street Stocks days. And yeah, I don't think a flip's gonna happen, unfortunately. As Murray's gonna take it 3 wide down the start-finish line, forcing Albert towards the outside. As Albert's gonna go right behind Richardson here. Let's go through the rest of the ticker here, see where your favorite driver is at. So Wilson, who topped the board earlier, is currently the slowest car. Has the slowest time as of right now, 48.266. Codwell, second slowest time, and the 21 of Crown, the third slowest time. As they look to try to get better laps here in this pack, but this pack just cannot seem to stay together. Looks like Crown got a better lap that time by. He's back inside the top 20, I believe, where Crown at. Let's go to him. Currently 12th, so he's inside the top 20. Now, here's this pack picking up Brad Ream, as Ream is going to go right in front of Richardson on the inside going into turn number 4. As Richardson, I thought he was going to come down the road that time by. Ream's going to go to the outside, down the front stretch as we're 3 wide again, with Murray in the middle, with Crothers to his inside. Now here's the 41 of Mopar, currently second fastest on the board with 47.815, side by side with Matt Tiello. It's probably getting some side draft from the 17 fellow Dodge. No, the team, yeah, back to teammates, so teammates here side by side. Now, funny thing about Dodge, remember the first GSS season in 2020, they only had 1 entry that was a Dodge. Now, the majority of the field is Dodge for the first time ever in a Random J Series. Usually Chevy has been dominant when it came to the quantity of cars in the Random J Series, but this is the first time Dodge has had that number. So currently, in terms of like ranking how many manufacturers there are mostly Dodges, of course, still a lot of Chevys, then Ford, Toyota, and only 2 Pontiacs, with Angel being one of them, and Baker being the other one. But Baker, unfortunately, isn't testing. I don't know why I said Baker was testing, but he's not in this testing session group, unfortunately. But he will be during next week's test in Atlanta. Less than 14 minutes remain in this testing session. Beal's still on top of the board. As we look at this pretty small pack here, looks like Nick Sand's going to make it single file on the inside with Matthews, Burnett, Stapleton, being the other 3 cars in this group. There's another pack. Royal is out front of the 76, with Angel side by side with Joe T, Whoopsie behind the 79, and Smith behind the 99. We're on board with the 79 of Angel here. Pontiac in this test. Now there are rumors that Baker and Angel could join Wilson as a team. The Pontiac's in the field, it makes a lot of sense. Angel and Wilson as a team, but nothing has been confirmed if those 2 join forces. Nothing much so far on top on the top. Nothing much has changed so far in the top 10. The board. Beal's still on top of the board. Mopar and Bro still the top 3. Hoodlum 4th in the 88 car. While Burnett is 5th. Oil 6th. Random 7th back is at the top. Who's puts his 53 back is at the top 10 of the board. Jordan Stout 8th. Rice Jr. 9th. And Jordan Forbes in 10th. Now, fun fact about Jordan Forbes' car here this year, this was actually supposed to be his Darlington throwback. But of course, I did not get to the Darlington throwback. So, you know what, this is such a good... I still decided, hey, this is still a cool idea for a paint scheme. Might as well just make it his primary for the PSL. There we go. Now, for the GSS throwbacks, I actually, the GSS throwbacks I did not get to last year. I actually still plan to paint them. But unfortunately, I don't know, I don't have an exact release date. I said May, but that's not happening. I'm hoping hopefully probably by the end of the summer, I get those paint schemes out. Now, this is probably the closest so far we're going to see to an actual pack here in the PSL, especially when we go to Coca-Cola here in the next couple of weeks. Everyone running side by side, two by three here. But I feel like with these, if the GSS pack racing is anything to base it off of, with a lot of these drivers coming from GSS, and a lot of these drivers driving like GSS never ended at all, I could see a lot of 3 wide at both our super speedways throughout the entire race. And you see Owen coming down pit road. This pack's going to go to single file. There's Miller down pit road. Royals down pit road. Hernandez back down pit road as Stoud's all by himself in the 11. Now we got a new fastest driver on the board. It's Ryan Wilson once again in the 38s, taking over Brendan Beal's fastest lap. Wilson just posted a 47.69. Nice lap. Now again, I would compare this to GSS, but we don't really have a time. I can't really compare because these packs are definitely, of course, a lot smaller than we were seeing from GSS at Talladega. But still, again, these cars aren't really that but these cars are only a little bit slower than the GSS cars, but the physics sets and the driver range are pretty similar. So I expect the racing, and especially from what I tested so far, to the Super Speedway racing to be very similar to the GSS and even the HRL as well. Now here we got 3 cars down pit road: Albert, Carruthers, and Richardson. Nine minutes remaining here in this test. This went by pretty fast. Okay. Wow, that went by really fast. I was 23 minutes into the stream. I didn't realize it was going to go by this quick, but it did. But going back to the top of the board, Wilson still first, Beal still second fastest, Mopar third fastest, Rose down to fourth fastest, Hoodlum runs off the rest of the top 5. Let's go over a little bit to the bottom of the board. We see Codwell still leading the board in terms of speed so far. Fortunately, Brado Racing, except for Brado himself, doesn't really seem to have that. Well, the other driver of Ross McTrain will participate as another driver who is not in this session but will participate next week. Now you see Random and Jordan hooking up together here through turns 3 and 4. Random right behind the bumper of the 11 car. Albert coming back onto the track alongside Forbes, Lipsy, as Wilson is still on the track in his Ford Mustang, as he's still on fastest on the board. I had to get some water there, but let's go on board with Rabbit. this 3-car pack. There's Bill coming back onto the track, and that new in his new look for his JetBlue car. It's got more flipsy. Inside now, that's going to be flipsy out to dry on the outside. For the speeds, these guys are going 195, 197. Anywhere from 195, 197, especially if you're in a bigger pack. We're going to take a look and see 197 from Mopar here. So again, despite these cars being slower, these cars are still very, very fast on these big, big tracks. Now coming in now into almost less than 6 minutes to go, everyone seems to be calming down when it comes to these packs. Of course, these cars are probably going to be the cars that these teams will use for opening day at Coca-Cola, so obviously they don't want to damage these cars at all. They don't want to put any scratches on these cars. So it's kind of understandable why they're calming down with these packs. And that seems to be happening ever, except for these cars here. See if anyone is still in the pack. Yeah, everyone's still all spread apart. And okay, there's only really 2 packs even going on right now. Wilson's still never mind. We got a new fastest. Multiple drivers put up great laps there. That entire top 10 changed very, very quickly. So the 41 of Mopar just put up a fast lap of 47.474. With Brad Ream in front of him, putting a 47.546. Owen Miles for 47.651. Caleb Brills back into 4th, 47.653. As Wilson's moving down to 5th because of that. Meanwhile, Hodelman 7th at a 47.824. Matthew Burnett 47.838. Roberto Crown 47.853. While Boyles into 76 was a 47.857. Now, according to Dylan on the chat, and I've got 3 wide. That was okay. Wow. As soon as I said the pack stopped, that was these guys went 3 wide there again. This is probably the most chaotic pack we've seen here. Hopefully these guys play it safe, which they are. Now, according to Voiles on the chat, the inspiration for the 76 came from Ryan Wilson's 76 Uno Cal car from the 2020 Summer Series. And as I'm kind of speaking of a painter, I like making the 76 cars and everything. I mean, having that big 76 font there. I like the orange and blue colors, kind of similar to Golf's colors. Of course, pretty similar to Golf's colors. I like working with orange and blue colors. I don't know why. I find them like a really good color combination, if you ask me. As Nick Sands going to be forced to the middle of 3 wide through turns 1 and 2. And Matteo leads his pack. So I'm going to pick up both Murray and Smith here as we come down the back straightaway, as these guys are still 3 wide. 3 minutes remaining. Miles now on top of the board, with Bradley up to 2nd in the 6th car. Miles has a 47.346, while Ream has a 47.357. Alright, Goodwin wants the bumper camera. 26, so Royals also in as well. 2 minutes, about 2 minutes remaining in here in this testing session. As this pack is still 3 wide. It's insane how aggressive they are, even despite this just being testing. Let's go a bit further down in the board. See Keyshawn Richardson, 12th, probably the most notable driver so far below the top 10. Albert 14th, Royals 13th, Roberto Crown 11th, I missed that too. The 19th Brado 15th, Random J 16th, Stout 17th. Seems like the Aero Atlanta cars don't seem to have that, seem to be kind of inconsistent when it comes to speed. Sometimes the Aero Atlanta cars into the top 10, but sometimes just but other times they also fall outside of it. Rice 18th, Forbes 19th, Miller 20th, Murray 21st, Hernandez 22nd, Angel 23rd, Smith 4th, 97 to Stapleton 25th, Matthews 26th, Whoopsie 27th, Joe T 28th, and Caldwell stole the slowest car on the board, an 82 car. Hoping that team could do some fixing up before the season begins, because they just don't seem to have speed right now. Anyways, coming down to less than a minute remaining here in this first ever League preseason Thunder. Miles still first, Ream still the second, Miles still the fastest with Ream, second fastest with Mopar currently in third. Let's go over to Miles' car. You see Murray coming out of pit road. Oh, Miles is with Hoodwum. No, Miles is pretty much all by himself. Only Hoodwum behind him as Hoodwum looks to the inside of the 25. Coming down the back straight away. As we come down to the final seconds here in our first ever Palm Summer League preseason Thunder. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the chat's happy right now that it's not Uli. This is for real now. As our testing session is complete, Owen Miles in the Alabama Roll Tide Mustang, the fastest here at Talladega. Fittingly here, of course, fittingly located in Alabama. Bradley second, the 6 car. Second fastest in the 6 car. Mopar third in the 41. Now I'm going to go over the results again, but they're pretty much the same as they were from what I said a minute ago. And like I said, I will post these after the stream is over, so you'll see them on the stream very shortly. So as I mentioned, Miles the fastest with 47.346, Bradley second fastest with 47.357, Mopar third fastest with 47.359, and the runoff for this top 5 is Nick Sant with a 47.762. I will also try posting like screenshots of these cars going by on the track, like I would of GSS Crown Jewels, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, but continuing down the list, reigning GSS champion Ryan Wilson, 6th fastest, Brendan Beal, 7th fastest. He was on the top of the board for quite some time. Still a solid result there for the 37. Hoodwum in 88 car, 8th fastest on the board. With Matthew Burdett, 9th fastest, and Dan Mattiel in the 17 in NS Racing, in his new NS Racing ride, rounds off the rest of the top 10. Now, looking back at the board, now continuing through the list, Roberto Crown 11th on the board, Keyshawn Richardson 12th on the board, Daniel Voiles 13th, Jason Albert 14th, Brittany Carruthers 15th, then the 2 Aero Atlanta cars, Random J and Jordan Stout 16th and 17th respectively. Hopefully those cars can find, hopefully the Atlanta cars can find some speed here. Daniel Rice, my bad, 18th fastest, while Jordan Forbes is 19th fastest in the 61. And the runoff for the rest of the top 20 is the 33 of Patrick Miller. If I kind of paused at the name, I apologize. I'm still trying to get used to these names for some of the newer names and everything. And it's the first time I've commentated any, well, besides early race, but commentated anything other than early since the GSS finale. So excuse that. Anyways, the rest of, as for everybody else, Hernandez 21st fastest, Murray 22nd fastest, Lipsy 23rd. Jordan Caldwell actually did manage to get outside of last, just before the end of the time, just before the end, up to 24th. Again, that team hopefully can go back to the race shop this week. Hopefully, we can work on speed for that car, especially with Coca-Cola coming up in just a few weeks, from just a few short weeks. Because that team did not show, the 82 team has not shown any speed at all in those 30 minutes. Meanwhile, Angel 25th fastest in the 79. Before Trey Smith 26th fastest. Nathan Stapleton 27th is another team I feel like that could hopefully go back to the shop, get everything all prepared for the next race at Coca-Cola, because they didn't really show a lot of speed either. The 49 of Dylan Matthews 28, and then the 99 of Joe T, the 29th and slowest car on the board. So hopefully those slower cars we've seen, like Joe T, Caldwell, and Stapleton, can hopefully, especially and the teams that hopefully can get everything fixed up before the start of Coca-Cola in just a couple short weeks. Because even though Super Speedway single car, even though on reality I feel like Super Speedway single car speed isn't really like overly important, but it's still important to have a fast. If you're in a big group of cars, if you're in a big pack with like 2 laps to go during a Super Speedway race, it's still important to have a pretty decently fast car behind you, or have a decently fast car yourself to help propel you to the win. But that's pretty much it here from Talladega. Thanks everyone for watching this Palm Summer League preseason Thunder. Thank you for bearing with me for the delays and everything. I had some other stuff coming up today, but thank you y'all for bearing with me with that. Next week we'll be I'm gonna meet up the next time. What's it called? Next week will be the Atlanta test. Let me see if I can pull up an image of the Atlanta stuff about my game crashing, or without doing anything. Okay, so let me pull up the Atlanta stuff just to make sure. Okay. Okay, move this up here. Just pulling this up for the Atlanta advertisement. All right. Okay. Okay, so this is PSO. So the next one, of course, is the Atlanta. The next track I'm gonna go for next. Oh God, I can't talk. But okay, next preseason Thunder track will be at the Atlanta Motor Speedway in Hampton, Georgia. This is the pre-2022 Atlanta. I'm not gonna use the Super Speedway, just the Atlanta 2014 track. And since it's actually the same exact track I used for the Golf Summer Series for its testing a couple years ago, we can actually directly compare speeds from the GSS to PSLs, and that's definitely pretty interesting to see. But that will be that'll be next weekend, May 20th at 8 o'clock. May 20th at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Of course, barring any delays. And of course, yeah, that's Wilkesboro week. So that's gonna be next week for the All-Star. It's gonna be after the truck race that afternoon. So we won't conflict with anything. So there's no race that night. And just like the Talladega session, will be 30 minutes long. It'll be live streamed on this channel. And of course, as previously mentioned, Coca-Cola, the Coca-Cola Summer Kickoff will be on this Memorial Day, May 29th. So stay tuned. That racing is back here on the Random J channel. I'm happy to be back on NR making races again. But for now, I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you all for watching the preseason Thunder. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time.